For the next 31 days on the FCPA Compliance Report, we're going to be bringing you a daily tip, strategy, or idea that you can use to improve your program. Here's your host, Tom Fox, the Compliance Evangelist.
Twitter and 360 days of communication. One of the ways that chief compliance officers and compliance practitioners can better use 360 degrees of communication is through Twitter. In a MIT Sloan Management Review article entitled How Twitter Users Can Generate Better Ideas, the authors found that employees with a diverse Twitter network, one that exposes them to people and ideas they don't already know, tend to generate better ideas. Their research led them to three interesting findings. Number one, employees who use Twitter have better ideas than those who do not do. Number two, there was a link between the amount of diversity in employees' Twitter networks and the quality of their ideas. And number three, Twitter users who combined idea scouting and idea connecting were the most innovative. This research certainly confirms the experience of Louis Sapperman during his time as CCO at Dun & Bradstreet. I do not think the first point is too controversial or even insightful, as it simply confirms that persons who tend to have a greater curiosity tend to be more innovative. The logic is fairly straightforward. Good ideas emerge when new information is shared with what a person already knows. In today's digitally connected world, the amount of information in almost any area is significant. Yet by using Twitter, the potential for assessing a divergent set of ideas is greater. The key concept for the compliance professional is the roles of the idea scout and the idea connector. An idea scout is an employee who looks outside the organization to bring in new ideas. An idea connector is someone who can assimilate the external ideas and find opportunities within the organization to implement these new concepts. It is the ability to identify, assimilate, and exploit new compliance ideas which makes this concept so powerful. However, to improve your compliance innovation, you need to maintain a diverse network while also developing your assimilation and exploitation skills. For the compliance practitioner, Twitter is a gateway to solution and a way to obtain different perspectives and to challenge the status quo in one's thinking. The key is not your number of followers on Twitter, but rather the diversity within your Twitter network, as diversity of employees' Twitter network is conducive to innovation. An idea scout will identify external ideas from experts and resources on Twitter. The compliance practitioner can take advantage of experts within the anti-corruption compliance field, but there is a rich source of innovation from outside this arena. Even with modern social media tools, the first key to good leadership is to listen. Listening can be enhanced through the breadcrumb approach of finding innovative leaders and thought provokers. This entails listening to colleagues and industry leaders who are on Twitter, including what they are tweeting about, who they are following and replying to on the platform, and who is retweeting them often. Equally important to this idea is the idea connector, who is putting together disparate strands of tweets. For the compliance function, there will be someone who identifies compliance best practices or other information from Twitter ideas and can put them together and direct the information to the relevant company stakeholders. Such a person can curate Twitter ideas and matches them with company resources needed to implement. There are a variety of ways an idea connector can use Twitter. One is to sift through your Twitter feed and look for trends and relationships between topics. You bring value when you stamp your own analysis and interpretation on it. Other methods include focusing on analytics. One user filtered specific subsets of the topic for different stakeholders and created social dashboards or company blogs based on the insights received through Twitter. Interestingly, one of the key requirements for successful Twitter mining was in finding ways to share content, since many employees, especially baby boomers, don't use the platforms themselves. Conversely, by mining information from Twitter and presenting it, this can allow these technologically challenged older employees to ascertain how they can target millennials. But as much as these concepts can move a CCO or compliance practitioner to innovate in a compliance program, it can also foster additional communications through the following of your own employees. It is well known that Twitter can facilitate greater communications to and between the compliance function and its customer base, aka your employees. Consider the use of Twitter to enable the same type of innovation because it is different than emails and other forms of information in that it enables continuous engagement. Twitter was created to allow employees to connect with one another and communicate about their activities. The marketing potential was immediately noted and used by many companies. Now, they have a deeper understanding of its use and its benefits. For the compliance practitioner, one thing you want to consider is to align your Twitter and greater social media strategy with your compliance strategy. In other words, match your Twitter strategy to your compliance strategy. Twitter can be a powerful tool for the compliance practitioner. It is one of the tools that can work both inbound for you to obtain information and insight and in an outbound manner as well, where you are able to communicate with your compliance customer base, your employees. You should work to incorporate one or more of these techniques to help you burn compliance into the DNA fabric of your organization. So what are today's 3 key takeaways? Number 1, Twitter can be a powerful tool for the compliance practitioner. Number 2, data mine Twitter not only for best practices, but to see what the regulators are saying. Number 3, curiosity may have killed a cat, but it makes for a far better and more effective compliance practitioner. Hello, everyone. This is Tom Fox. I'd like to thank you again for joining me for this episode of 31 Days to a More Effective Compliance Program, and I hope you will join me for our next episode tomorrow. This podcast series on 31 Days to a More Effective Compliance Program is a production of the Compliance Podcast Network.
This podcast is a part of the C-Suite Radio Network. For more top business podcasts, visit c-suiteradio.com.